Okay, so since the last video I've been welding different parts for the engine. In a previous video, Charger Miles 007 commented that when he did his engine, he just rotated the carb around 90 degrees, kept it on the tank, and went like that way. In retrospect, that would have been by far the best idea. In the original orientation like that, the carb was here, went through a manifold behind the magneto to this port here. In my infinite stupidity, I decided it would be a good idea to get everything on this side of it, so you've got the exhaust coming out here and to also have the carb coming out here. So the original one came with this manifold here, which ran like that. But because on this one you've got one of the bolt holes slightly recessed and one on the edge, if you try and rotate that round to put it on like that, there's, I'm not sure if you can see that, but there's a gap at the top of the in there, so couldn't use this at all. So I had to start up making my own manifold. So in the previous video I showed the bracket that I was going to cut down to make the manifold for the carb. Well, this is what I ended up with. So that's the manifold there, and then this bit on the end, which looks absolutely hideous, I cut out a plate shaped and welded together, and on the end of it had a template of it somewhere, but that's gone. So I'll put that together and show you how it looks. Okay, so I've got the engine all bolted together as far as I've got it so far. Got the exhaust on there, which was an absolute pain to make because it originally came with one of these ones, and so I had to take the long bolts that went in through those holes and out the far side here and cut the short bits of thread off the end, and then put them on there. I just got a hacksaw and cut a trench in there to make them a sort of flathead screwdriver type. By the time I'd ported out the exhaust, the threads were sort of very, very close to it, so I had to sort of file down the edge of the exhaust pipe quite thin there and then bend it in slightly, so it the exhaust kind of dips in slightly on each side, but it works fine. It's still smooth and free-flowing on the inside, so that's good. You can see the carbon manifold in position there. Looks a little bit wonky, but then I haven't actually bolted the engine down yet, so you can see that in position. I haven't made the inlet manifold yet. I just need to cut a plate to go there, and then that'll be on the end there. I've ordered the filter off eBay, so that's going to be going off there. I'm thinking of taking a tube off the bottom there to run round to that hole there for the crankcase pressure thing. What else? I mounted the fuel tank hanging off the back there. I decided with it sort of on top of the pull cord housing that it was just a little bit too big and it looked a bit silly really, so mounted it around the back and that's easier. I got the on-off valve off the old fuel tank, and I'm going to put that sort of on the underside there, facing that way obviously, and then I just need to run a tube between that and the carb intake there. So I've got some hosing for that yesterday. What else? I was asked by Charger Miles 2007 why I needed to replace the head gasket. Well, here's the two different ones. This was the one that originally came with it. I don't know if you can see, but it's just the sort of thin plate mesh with, I'm not sure what it is on it, but he said about graphite ones, but it's kind of gooey and it's all just come off it and disintegrated a bit. So this is one of the proper old ones that doesn't fall apart, so that's the one I got from the salvage yard, so that's the one I'll be using for now. what else? See, I've started on the base. I haven't made the post to go up to the bolt holes. I'm a little bit worried now. I was posting on oldminibikes.com forum, and I was told that these brackets here can sometimes snap off and the threads shear out, so kind of not got any options around that now. I mean, there's a spare bolt hole there which I could probably do something to try and spread the load off it slightly, but I suppose I'll just have to see how it goes. So that's about it. Another thing, I've left the original head with my friend who's got a milling machine. He's going to mill the head down properly for me. So in the meantime, I don't know when I'm going to see him next, so in the meantime I've just got the old one from the salvage yard that I'm using. It's gooey and horrible, but it's, you know, good working order, so I'll go from that. Also, I've set up my plan for the throttle linkage. Try and get that in focus there. Off the back of the carb manifold I put this tab here with a little hole in it, and cut a small section of the governor spring, put a hook on each end, so attach one to the tab and one to the hole that's in the little throttle plate thing here, so that will automatically pull it back to closed. There's a hole in the top of the carb here which I've put a bolt through here with a nut on each side securing it. So my plan being that when I've got the engine up and running, I find out at what point in this movement the engine stalls out, and so just before that it'll be idling nicely, and then I screw the bolt through and tighten it up supporting that point there, so that when I let go it will not stall the engine, it'll just drop down to a low idle speed. And then to cut the engine I'm going to have a kill switch running off the tabs on the back of the magneto, and earthing it to the housing. So that's my plan so far. If anyone has any ideas about that, comment back and I'll see where I can go. Cheers. I've also tack welded the pull cord housing back on, so it's now in the upright position. Bit messy, tried to fill in some of the holes that I made with weld, but just need to file those down and get them looking neatish now. At some point I'll just respray it and get looking nice.